Broadcasting live from the Murdix Veobia Studio Broadcast Center at Centennial Sportsplex. This is GNASH Hockey on the Middle Tennessee Sports Network as we move on now to the Predators Cup Losers Bracket Final to see who will play Father Ryan on Monday. To see who will play, wrong tournament. To see who will play Nolensville in the final next Monday night out in Bellevue. Franklin taking on Montgomery Bell, as both teams hit the ice for the pregame warm-up, but I don't see the officials out just yet, so we're going to hold off on doing all the talking about both teams and such. But this is the big one now. As it is the ultimate do-or-die game. Well, they're running the clock, so might want to go ahead and just start talking about both teams. And we'll start with Franklin. Interim head coach Jackson Reed opened the Preds Cup with a 5-4 win over Hendersonville in the first round. Hendersonville beats Lawson in the first round on February 3rd. February 11th in the winners bracket semifinals, they beat Station Camp Liberty Creek Nashville Christian 6-0. And then back on Monday in the winners bracket final, lost 2-1 to Nolensville. So here are their stats coming into tonight. Ryan Mannion, the leading scorer. He's got 6 points from 5 goals and an assist. Michael Mannion back in the lineup tonight after being suspended on Monday. Will McCormick, Makita Popov, and David Unger all with 2 points from a goal and an assist. Wyatt Garrisher, 2 points from assists. Alex Broy with a point from a goal. Houston Vale with a point from a goal. Chase Wiggers with a point from a goal. Will Clark, Braden Coleman, Lucas Ortega, and Cole Wright all with a point from an assist. On to goalie play. Teague Spencer has played in 2 games, started both those games, the games against Station Camp and Nolensville. So his record 1-1. Played 84 minutes, goals against average of 1 even, 1 shutout. He's allowed 2 goals on 35 shots, turned away the other 2 goals on 37 shots, turned away the other 35. His save percentage in the postseason so far is .946. Grayson Butters played and started in just 1 game. That was the opener against Hendersonville, so his record is 1-0. Played the full 42 minutes, allowed 4 goals and 24 shots, turned away the other 20. His save percentage in the postseason so far is .833. Goals against average is 4 even. On to NBA, coached by Max Wutsky. Opened the postseason with a 2-1 loss to Nolensville in the first round on February 4th, February 9th in the first round of the losers bracket. Beat Ensworth Lipscomb CPA 4-3 in overtime. Last Wednesday in the losers bracket quarterfinal, they beat Station Camp Liberty Creek Nashville Christian 5-4 in overtime, and then on Monday they beat Page Summit 4-1 in the losers bracket semifinal. Now, I forgot to update the little card I had with the NBA stats on it. Trace Graham, I know, now has 9 points from 4 goals. No, he's got 10 points from 4 goals and 6 assists. Matthew Moore now with 7 points from 2 goals and 5 assists. James Lehrman now with 3 points from 2 goals and an assist. I know Lehrman had an assist in his empty netter, but I can't remember who. I'm going to have to go back and listen if NBA do indeed move on. Sorry, folks, I had to turn down the microphone to blow my nose. I know you don't want to hear that. Me get my rosters out of my folder. After this one, there'll only be 5 left, and then after tomorrow night, 1 more goes in the recycling after the Father Ryan Mount Juliet game out in Antioch. These two teams met way back on October 27th. Game ended in a 2-2 tie. Trip Bland made a lot of breakaway saves across those first two periods. Ready to go with the start of this one. Trip Bland going to start in goal for MBA. Teague Spencer going to start in goal for Franklin for this first period. MBA will carry the puck from my left to right. Franklin from my right to left. One spot in the Preds Cup final left. Who gets it? We start answering that question now as Franklin win the draw. Puck in the NBA zone on the right wing side. Ryan Sherman with a shot in the right wing boards. Turned away by Bland. Puck cleared out on the near side by Matthew Moore. Puck sent back into the NBA end. Chase Wager's pushing Louis Jalovic away from the puck. Matthew Moore comes in, tries to clear. Battle for the puck at the right half wall. Now it's going down into the right wing corner. Hank Hayes gets to it. Behind the net. Banks it off the outside of the post to Bland's right. Puck kept alive by Aiden Murphy. Murphy has it taken away. Trace Graham drops it back to Connor Mazzoni, who flicks it back out to Graham at center. Puck in the Franklin zone, deep. It's behind the net. Murphy. Correction, it's Quinn Spencer. Coming to the near side. Pushed into the right wing corner boards. Franklin get the puck out of the zone. Brought back in by Duke Daba. Daba's shot. Missed the net. High over the net. Puck out on the far side. Andrew Freck dropping it to the inboards from the top of the left circle. Puck comes out to the left point. And a shot from Lawson Brown, I think, to be turned away by Spencer. Puck comes back to Brown at the left point. Another shot turned away by Spencer. Puck on the far boards. Franklin trying to get it out. Kept alive. Shot from Cortland Klett. Oh, it ends up in the net! It went off of Spencer and ended up in the net behind him! Cortland Klett moving down the left wing, taking the shot that went off of Spencer, leaked through him, and in an NBA of a 1-0 lead with 12:04 to go in the first. All started with Franklin failing to clear that puck. There's no put in front for Matthew Moore, and he couldn't get a stick on it. Moore with a shot in the top of the right circle, misses the net to the right of Spencer. Shot from the left point, turned away by Spencer. That was from Connor Mazzoni. Moore passing out to the blue line. Henry Burke a shot off the left leg pad of Spencer, and he covers up. Mazzoni standing over him. Draw to the left of Spencer. Won by Franklin, and they bring it out to center. Josh Yurievich dumps it into the NBA zone. Ryan Mannion sending it down into the left wing corner. Can't catch back up to it. Matthew Moore whiffs in a clearing attempt. Mannion trying to tap it to the front of the net. Puck in the left wing corner. Cole Wright passing up to the left point. Yurievich had trouble keeping it in. It's cleared out by Trace Graham. It's back in the Franklin zone. And Yurievich tied up with Graham. They went all the way into the Franklin zone. Yurievich throwing Graham to the ground. He's going to go to the box for it. roughing. So NBA get the first power play of the game, already up 1-0 with 11:03 to go in the first. Draw is going to be to Teague Spencer's left. Won by NBA. Abe Lasher shot in the left point, blocked. Puck comes back up to Lasher at the left point. Moving down the wing a bit. Try to pass across, held in Trace Graham. Back across to Lasher, passes down the left wing to Moore. Matthew Moore fumbled it a bit, carries around in the back of the net. Try to put it out in front, we get a whistle. Oh, and one of the linesmen slipping and falling on his back. Moving to the Franklin net to pick up the puck. I'm not sure why they blew the whistle. Maybe somebody from NBA knocked the net loose. I don't know. 88 seconds left of the power play. 10:31 to go in the first. 1-0 Big Red. Drawing by Franklin. Wyatt Garisher. One-handed shove into the Franklin zone. Trace Graham grabs it. He'll bring it out. Graham into the Franklin zone. Now Duke Dalba fumbled the puck. It's cleared out by Baker McCormick. No, it hit a stanchion and stayed to the zone. Then it's cleared out. Lucas Ortega in the NBA zone, sending it across the front of the net from the left point. Picked up by Matthew Moore on the far side. Minute left in the power play for NBA. Here's Trace Graham. Graham back into the Franklin zone on the right wing. Shot was blocked. Dalba out at the blue line. Passing to the left wing. And Lasher with a shot. Hard off the right leg pad of Spencer. Put out in front. Moore with a shot into traffic. Blocked. And the puck cleared out by the Admirals. Bland to leave it for Lasher. 30 seconds left of the power play for the Big Red. Here's Matthew Moore. Back into the Franklin zone on the right wing side. Here's Connor Mazzoni at the left point. Moving down the left wing. Taking a shot. Missed the net. Penalty time against Franklin is up. They're back at even strength. Puck sent up the far boards and out by Franklin. It's in the NBA zone. Taken by Will McCormick. Trying to get to the slot. Takes a bump from Cortland Klett. Now the puck out at center. Mazzoni, left wing side of the Franklin zone with a shot. Missed the net to the right of Spencer, who may have gotten a piece of it as it went by. Puck out at the right point. Kept alive by Lawson Brown. Sent back down low. Franklin trying to clear. Held in at the left point by Klett. Franklin with a puck. It's back in the NBA zone on the right wing side. Will McCormick a shot off the glove of Bland. Puck coming around to the far side. McCormick in the right wing corner. Passing to the near side. Kept alive by Aiden Murphy. Shot from the left point. Off of something and into the netting above the glass. I'm not sure if it went off of Bland or not. Went off an NBA stick. So they'll drop it to the right of Bland. 7:56 to go. And the first 1-0 NBA. Draw to Bland's right. Won by Franklin. Michael Mannion shot blocked. Wyatt Garrison trying to keep it alive on the right wing side. Cleared out. Passed ahead by Matthew Moore to Connor Mazzoni at center, and he'll dump it into the Franklin zone. Puck on the far side at center. Braden Coleman couldn't reach for it. Matthew Moore gets to it, backhands it up the far wall, back into the Franklin zone. David Unger knocking down, I think, Henry Burke. Puck coming out in front, score! Mazzoni! While all that was going on, the puck comes out in front to Connor Mazzoni, who sends it into the back of the net from near the left-hand side, and it's 2-0 NBA with 7:17 to go in the first. Draw one by Franklin. Puck flicked into the NBA zone. It's behind the net. Here's A. Blasher, right wing side of the Franklin zone. Pass across to the left circle and a shot from Trace Graham. Gloved and held on to by Teague Spencer. Draws to Teague Spencer's right. One by the Big Red. Puck at the inboards. Comes up to the left point, Louis Jalovic. Passes down the right wing, Duke Dalba. Puck's coming around to the near side. Now it slides all the way back into the NBA zone, cleared out by Jalovic. Dumped back in by Baker McCormick. Puck on the far side. Now it's out at center. Dalba had the puck swiped off his stick. Ryan Sherman trying to drop it back. Taken away and dumped back into the Franklin zone by Dalba. Puck out at center. Trace Graham passing to the near side. Now Hank Hayes brings it into the NBA zone on the left wing. Passes across the front of the net. Chase Wagers was tied up with Matthew Moore. Couldn't get the shot off. Puck held into the right point and a shot misses the net to the left of Bland. That was from Houston Vale. No correction, David Unger. Puck sent up the near sideboards, held into the left point. Baker McCormick gets sent back down to the left wing corner to Matthew Moore, who passes ahead to Trace Graham at center. Graham back into the Franklin zone on the left wing side. Passes off in the slot. Connor Mazzoni, a shot. Blocked in front, I think, by Baker McCormick. I don't think it ever got to Spencer, Teague Spencer. Puck comes out to the bottom of the left circle, and Mazzoni can't keep it on his stick. Shot in the right point, off of Spencer's right leg pad. Puck coming back around to the near side. It's out at center. Mazzoni passing it to the far side, and I think it's Lawson Brown who dumps it back into the Franklin zone. NBA making a couple of changes. Now here is Will McCormick. Back into the NBA zone, trying to pass it down the right wing to Ryan Mannion, who would have been going to the front of the net all alone, but that was broken up. Connor Mazzoni at center. Back into the Franklin zone, a shot. Steered into the netting above the glass by Teague Spencer. 4:34 left in the first, 2-0 NBA. Draw is going to be to Spencer's left. One by Franklin, but held in by the Big Red. Taken back by Franklin and cleared out. Ryan Mannion backhanding it into the NBA zone. Henry Burke clears it out. Duke Dalba back into the Franklin zone on the left wing side. Pushed to the near, far boards and dumps it down low. Puck coming through center on the near side, back towards the NBA blue line, smacked off the stick of Ryan Mannion by Abe Lasher. Duke Dalba, right wing side of the Franklin zone with a shot, stopped and held onto by Spencer, Teague Spencer. NBA just dominating puck possession. They have one shot up on the board for Franklin. It should be two. 3:48 left in the first, 2-0. NBA draws to the left of Teague Spencer. One by Franklin, sent down ice on goal, and to be stopped by Trip Bland. Clearing attempt held in Wyatt Garisher. Taken away and cleared out. Stumped back into the NBA zone from center by Baker McCormick, but a couple of his teammates had to get back on side. Matthew Moore passing up the near side to Trace Graham. Graham back into the Franklin zone, offside. I think Mazzoni may have stepped over the blue line before Graham brought the puck in. Draw on the dot in front of the Franklin bench. One by NBA. Here's Lawson Brown. Dumping it into the Franklin zone. Towards the front of the net. Steered away by Spencer with his stick. Puck on the far side. Baker McCormick trying to clear it out. Cannot. Michael Mannion at center. Into the NBA zone on the left wing side. And the puck knocked off his stick by Abe Lasher on the back check down the slot. Puck passed up the near side to Trace Graham. It misses him and goes for an icing. 2:49 left in the first. 2-0 NBA. Draw to the right of Bland. One by Franklin. Puck sent around the boards to the far side and out. And Aiden Murphy delivered a big hit on Duke Dalma. That's going to get him sent to the box. Interference the call. So NBA, in their second power play of this one, leading 2-0 with 2:39 to go in the first. Draw is going to be to Teague Spencer's right. One by the Big Red. Trace Graham, shot from the blue line, blocked. Puck held in at the left point, Abe Lasher. Passes down the left wing, Matthew Moore. Moore sends it back down low. Trying to put out in front, knocked away from the front of the net by Teague Spencer, and the puck cleared. Here's Abe Lasher behind his own net. Handing it off to Trace Graham. Graham passing across to the near side, Matthew Moore. Moore back into the Franklin zone on the right wing. Takes a shot. I think getting a piece of it was Spencer. If not, it missed to his right. Put out in front and a one-timer from Duke Dalma, turned away by Spencer. Moore shooting with the top of the left circle, turned away by Spencer again. Puck cleared out by Franklin, only as far as center. Brought back into the Franklin zone, then taken away and cleared. Minute left in the power play for the Big Red. Abe Lasher behind his own net, battling with Cole Wright. Almost lost the puck in front, a shot. Stop, covered up by Bland. Lasher tied up with Wright. Lost the puck. Wright got up a shot that was stopped and covered up by Bland. 50 seconds left in the power play for NBA. 89 seconds left in the first. Still 2-0 Big Red. Draw is going to be to Bland's right. They win the draw. Franklin doing a shot from Hayes, turned away by Bland. So Hayes got in tight. Here's Connor Mazzoni dumping the puck back into the Franklin zone from just behind the blue line. David Unger gets to it. Trying to pin it up against the kick plate. Now he tries to send it up the far boards. It's intercepted. Another clearing attempt. Oh, just went over the blue line. Brought back in offside by Lawson Brown. With just under 30 seconds left in the power play. Draw will be on the dot in front of the bleachers across from the Franklin bench. One by NBA. Here's Lawson Brown bringing it into the Franklin zone on the right wing side. Oh, but he left the puck behind him, and it's cleared by Hayes. We're inside the final minute of the first. Puck on the near side of the NBA zone. Connor Mazzoni gets to it from Will McCormick. Fell over, and McCormick is skating back to the bench, holding his left arm against his body as Mazzoni gets off a shot from inside the top of the left circle that's gloved and held onto by Teague Spencer. McCormick fell over trying to get after that puck, and he got up, he left his stick in the left wing corner, and he was bent over, holding his left arm against the left side of his body. 3 seconds left in the power play for NBA. Draws to the right of Spencer. Draw one by NBA. Shot from Trace Graham misses the net. Penalty time against Franklin is up. They're back at even strength. Puck in the NBA zone, quickly cleared out by Lasher. It's on the far side at center. 30 seconds left in the period. Connor Mazzoni dumps the puck back into the Franklin zone. Picked up by Cole Wright. Wright passing it ahead to Chase Wagers. Wagers leaves it for Wright at center. He dumps it back into the NBA zone. Puck on the near side. Just held in at the blue line. Here's Wagers. Got time to shoot. He does. Turned away by Bland with a blocker. As he shot from the top of the right circle. Puck cleared out by NBA. Franklin catch up to it in their own zone, and that'll be it for the first. Early goal from Cortland Klett just under 2 minutes in, and then nearly 5 minutes later, Connor Mazzoni putting one in. So Montgomery Bell lead Franklin 2-0. After the first period of the Predators Cup Losers Bracket Final. I'll be back in a few seconds with the start of the second. But if you're listening in the YouTube podcast, we're going to go ahead and take you to the start of the second period. We're ready to start the second period. Teague Spencer still in goal for Franklin. Trip Bland still in goal for NBA for the second period. Franklin will carry the puck my left to right, NBA from my right to left. Franklin win the draw to start the second, send it into the NBA zone. Puck is at the end boards. Oh, and Michael Mannion collides with Braden Coleman and one of the NBA players at the end boards. And there's going to be a penalty against Franklin here. Trace Graham with the puck in the Franklin zone, eventually touched up, and it is a roughing call. And it is against Wyatt Garisher. So just 25 seconds into the second period, NBA get a power play, up 2-0. Draw is going to be in the Franklin zone to the right of Teague Spencer. Draw one by NBA. Abe Lasher passing across to the right wing side. Trace Graham, a one-timer off the boards, off the blocker of Spencer and over the net. Puck on the near side, it ends up loose. Cole Wright tried to clear, held into the right point by Lasher. Across to Trace Graham, across to the left circle, and Matthew Moore. And his one-timer is off the toe of the right leg pad of Spencer into the netting above the glass. Draw is going to be to Teague Spencer's right again. One by NBA, Lasher left point. Moving down, taking a shot, gloved and held on to by Spencer. So they'll drop it to his right again. One by NBA, here's Graham through traffic, fires it past the net. Lasher left point. Moore, Matthew Moore. To the slot, Duke Dalba goes back to Moore, one-timer blocked by Josh Yurievich, and he fires it to the other end of the ice. NBA still with a puck in their own zone. Lasher leaves it in the right wing corner. Here's Graham to center. Minute left in the power play for the Big Red. Graham, left wing side of the Franklin zone, passing up to the left point. Moore passing below the goal line to Graham. Trying to put it back in front for Moore. There's a shot, score! Dalba! Duke Dalba hammers it into the back of the net from just in front. Power play goal for the Big Red. It's 3-0 now with 12:23 to go in the second. Draw one by NBA. Puck sent into the Franklin zone. It's cleared out, sent back in. David Unger will bring it to center. Unger chips it down the wall into the NBA zone. Puck sent around to the near side. And the puck just went over the blue line and was brought back in by Hank Hayes offside. 11:50 to go in the second, 3-0 NBA. And Teague Spencer is done. He will be replaced by Grayson Butters. First time Butters has appeared since the Hendersonville game 22 days ago. 3 weeks ago yesterday, the very first game of the entire postseason. Buggins up in the NBA zone off the draw. Chase Wiggers behind the net. Lost it. Brought to center. Andrew Freck, right wing side of the Franklin zone, gets knocked into the boards. Franklin sending it down ice. Icing waved off because it comes to a dead stop near the left-hand side of the NBA net. Clearing attempt held in by Hank Hayes. Goes around the back of the net. Flicks it on goal from the bottom of the right circle. Stopped and held on to by Trip Bland. 11:14 to go in the second. 3-0 NBA. Draw is going to be to Bland's left. One by Franklin. Aiden Murphy shot into traffic, blocked. Matthew Moore got it into the Franklin zone, but he lost the puck. Here's Cole Wright. Trying to flip it up the near side to Baker McCormick. Will McCormick sends it across the front of the net from the top of the right circle. Puck cleared out by the Big Red. It's on goal. Grayson Butters has to steer it away. He'll leave it for Baker McCormick, who banks it hard off the near side boards, but it's intercepted by Connor Mazzoni, brought right back into the Franklin zone. Here's Graham, backhanding it to the inboards. Baker McCormick firing it up the far side. Ryan Mannion brings it into the NBA zone, sends it to the inboards, picked up by Louis Jalovic. Big Red trying to clear it out, and it's held in by Cole Wright, but then he gets pushed off the puck by Matthew Moore. Trace Graham back into the Franklin zone. Trying to go down the slot. Puck knocked off his stick by Quinn Spencer. Connor Mazzoni sending it to the net. Stopped by Butters, and then the rebound try from Graham just sent past the net to Butters right. Oh, and then it's fumbled, and scoring is Graham. Quinn Spencer fumbled it in the slot. Graham took it to the front of the net and flips it to the left-hand side. It's 4-0 NBA with 9:57 to go in the second. And this is an absolute runaway for a semifinal. And Franklin are going to use their timeout. And I imagine that Jackson Reed is not going to be very nice. NBA have just totally dominated this game in every facet. We haven't even played half the game. We're 2 minutes 57 seconds shy of the halfway point of regulation. This is like if NBA were playing like Rutherford instead of Franklin or Clarksville. Timeout done. Why do I have a feeling whatever Jackson Reed said didn't get through? Is not going to get through. I mean, I don't want to dump on them, but they've been pretty bad in this game. They may as well be Rutherford. They may as well be wearing Rutherford or Clarksville jerseys. Puck back in the NBA zone. Duke Dalba knocking a Franklin player down at the inboards of his own zone. And here come NBA with a puck. Andrew Freck out at center, backhanding it to the middle of the ice. And Dalba's shot off of Franklin, sticking to the netting above the glass. 9:21 left in the second, 4-0 NBA. Draw is going to be to the left of Butters. One by NBA and a shot from Abe Lasher off the right leg pad of Butters. Here's Braden Coleman. Trying to pass it up the near side to Wyatt Garrisher. Intercepted and sent back into the Franklin zone. Graham Fleming passing up the far side, but onto the stick of Abe Lasher at center. He has to dump it back into the Franklin zone because Connor Mazzoni had to get back on side. Unger behind his own net. Unger to center. Passing it up the far side. It's back in the NBA zone. Pass to the slot, intercepted. Graham will bring it to center. Falls over on the near side, up. Must have gotten tripped, and then Wyatt Garrisher fires it into the empty net from center. And I wonder if that's going to be an unsportsmanlike trip. Well, Garrisher's going to get away with no unsportsmanlike. It's Braden Coleman in the box. NBA back to the power play, up 4-0 with 8:38 to go in the second. Draw is going to be to Butters' right. Draw one by Franklin. They clear it down ice. It's off the board. It's going to come on the NBA goal. It just has to be steered away by Trip Bland. And now the Big Red with a puck. Cortland Klett into the Franklin zone on the left wing side. Passes across to Ethan Moore. Tried to drop it up top. Here's Moore, bottom of the right circle. Passing back to the right point, Connor Mazzoni. Trying to get it across to Andrew Freck in the left circle. That was broken up by the stick of Chase Wagers, who brings it to center. Wagers back into the NBA zone on the right wing side. Gets pushed down by Lawson Brown, who's going to go to the box for it. They're going to call him for slashing. So there goes the power play for NBA. It's going to be 82 seconds of a 4-on-4, 8 minutes to go in the second. 4-0 Big Red. Draws to Bland's left. Puck behind the net. James Lehrman with it for NBA. Passing it up the far side. Trace Graham at center. Back into the Franklin zone on the right wing side. Around the back of the net. Turns around and shoots from the bottom of the left circle. Turned away by Butters off his chest. Puck carried back to center. Minute left in the 4-on-4. Cole Wright, left wing side of the NBA zone. Trying to put it in front for Josh Yurjevich. It's intercepted. Here's a Blasher back to center. Back into the Franklin zone on the right wing side. Passes up to the blue line. One-timer from Lehrman. Misses the net to the right of Butters. Held into the left point by Matthew Moore. Carries it down the left wing boards. Hands it off Lasher. Moves inside. Left circle. Round the back of the net. He's at the end boards. Off to Graham. Back to the blue line and Moore. Matthew Moore with a shot. Turned away by Butters with a glove. Then he pulls it back in. Tried to cover. He didn't get the whistle. 20 seconds left in the 4-on-4, less than a minute left on the Lawson Brown penalty. Quinn Spencer, right wing side of the NBA zone with a backhander that's stopped by Bland, who didn't know where the puck was for a moment, and NBA are going to ice it. 7 seconds left in the 4-on-4, 6:45 to go in the second, 4-0 NBA. Draw will be to the left of Bland. One by Franklin. Shot misses the net to the left of Butters. Penalty time against Franklin is up there on the power play for 37 seconds. Puck out at center, David Unger. Brings it back into the NBA zone. Flicks it through the air to the left wing boards. And a shot from the left circle, stopped and covered up by Bland. And then an NBA player was knocked down after the whistle by Wagers. And he was going to be sent to the box for it. And I believe they called cross-checking against Wagers. Correction, it's Ryan Sherman. They call it against Garisher. That's the number they put up on the board. So Franklin's power play gone. 4-on-4 for 20 seconds, 6:20 to go in the second. 4-0 NBA. Draw's going to be to Butters left. Draw one by Franklin, who clear it down ice. Is this going to go for an icing? No, they wave it off. Puck to the inboards of the NBA zone. Franklin with it. Passed up to the right point, Baker McCormick. McCormick, whiffs on the shot attempt. Puck cleared out. Brought back in by Brought back in by Baker McCormick, but somebody from Franklin had gone in before him. Trigger the offside whistle. Penalty time against NBA is up there now on the power play for 1:40. Draw's going to be on the dot in front of the bleachers across from the Franklin bench at center. One by NBA. Here's a Blasher behind his own net. Passing it up the near side, Trace Graham, left wing side of the Franklin zone. Pass off Duke Galvin, the slotted shot blocked. Matthew Moore keeps the puck alive, backing out towards the blue line. Fires it across Graham at the right point. Moving down the right wing. Puck poked away by Quinn Spencer and cleared to center. And Cole Wright brings it into the NBA zone. Almost left it behind him. Drops it down the left wing to Ryan Mannion, whose shot is off the left leg pad of Bland. Minute left in the power play for NBA. There's going to be a penalty against the Big Red. David Unger, left point, taking a shot. Turned away by Bland. Finally touched up by Matthew Moore. Interference is going to be the penalty call. Man, this pattern continues. Somebody has a power play, then they get a penalty. Then it's a 4-on-4. Then that penalty expires. That team gets a power play, then they commit a penalty. Back to 4-on-4. That penalty expires. That team gets a power play, then they commit a penalty. 4-on-4 again. It's Abe Lasher in the box. So 4-on-4 for 41 seconds. 5:02 to go in the second. 4-0 NBA. Draws to the right of Bland. Won by the Big Red. And it's cleared out. Connor Mazzoni brings it back into the Franklin zone. Puck got away from him as he went to try and shoot on a forehand. Here's David Unger, right wing side of the NBA zone. A shot into the chest of Bland, who hangs on for the whistle. Draw one by NBA. Connor Mazzoni at center. Back into the Franklin zone. And the high slot shot misses the net to the right of Butters. Here's Unger. Sending it up the far boards and out. Cortland Klitt sending it back the other way. Shot on goal from center by Connor Mazzoni. Stopped by Butters. Penalty time against Franklin is up. They're now back on the power play for 79 seconds. Quinn Spencer poking it back into the NBA zone. Puck behind the net. David Unger, minute left in the power play for Franklin. Puck sent to the end boards. Put out in front. Shot steered away by Bland. Puck comes to the front of the net. And it's cleared out. Quinn Spencer at center. Back into the NBA zone on the left wing side. And the puck poked off his stick, and then Ryan Mannion's shot blocked. 30 seconds left in the Franklin power play. Puck comes to the left-hand side of the net. Big Red trying to get it out. Held in by Franklin. Cole right behind the net. Trying to put it out in front. And it is banked off the far boards and out by the Big Red. It's back in the Franklin zone. Baker McCormick will retrieve it. Stretch pass up the far side. Reeled in by Lawson Brown. Trying to pass ahead Abe Lasher. Penalty time against NBA is up there back in even strength. There's Trace Graham, left wing side of the Franklin zone. Had the puck taken away by Cole Wright. Passes to the center lane and Hank Hayes. Back ahead to Wright. Right wing side of the NBA zone is shot off the stick of Henry Burke into the netting above the glass. 2:44 to go in the second. 4-0. NBA. Draw is going to be to Bland's left. Big Red with it, and they clear it out. Baker McCormick left it behind him near the NBA blue line. Picked up by Lucas Ortega. Ortega dumps it back into the NBA zone. Abe Lasher backhanding it around to the far boards. Cleared out. Sent back the other way by Aiden Murphy, but picked off inside the NBA zone and brought right back out by Trace Graham. Graham, right wing side of the Franklin zone, of the puck knocked off his stick on the back check by Murphy, but he gives it right to Ethan Sides, whose shot is turned away by Butters. Puck out at center. Garisher gets it back into the NBA zone. Puck out at center. Now it's sent back into the NBA end. Big Red with it. Stretch pass to center and Graham. Graham brings it into the Franklin zone. Avoids the hit. Takes a shot. Hits the right leg of Aiden Murphy. Murphy flips it through the air. Back into the NBA zone. Past the net to the left of Bland. Puck sent around the boards to the near side. NBA send the puck back the other way. Icing waved off. Trace Graham behind the net. Tried to put it in front for Abe Lasher. It was blocked. Pass was blocked by Josh Yurjevich. Yurjevich passing ahead to Murphy. Now the puck dumped back into the NBA zone. No icing. Puck on the far side. Minute left in the second. Cortland Klett chops the puck out to center. Here's Duke Dalba in the Franklin zone. Trying to go across to Abe Lasher. Puck in front. He whiffs on it twice. And Lasher and Braden Coleman were still tangled up in the bottom of the left circle, and Coleman is going to be sent to the box. For roughing. So NBA back to the power play, up 4-0 with 42.9 seconds to go in the second. Draw is going to be to Butters' right. Draw one by NBA. Shot from Abe Lasher over the net from the left point. The right point, it's Graham. Passing to the left circle. Moore in the slot. Duke Dalba shot off the right leg pad of Butters. Puck up in the air. 30 seconds left in the period. Here's Moore passing out to the blue line. Lasher across to Graham. Across to Moore in the left circle. A shot gloved and held on to by Butters. Draw's going to be to Butters' right again. One by the Big Red. Lasher across to Graham. Moving down the right wing. Taking a shot. Stopped and held on to by Butters. Draw will be to Butters' left this time. One by NBA. Graham at the right point. Passing across to the left point. Lasher moving down the left wing. A shot gloved and held on to by Butters again. 85 seconds left in the power play. 7.9 seconds to go in the second. 4-0 NBA. Draw is going to be to Butters' left. Right. One by Franklin. Will McCormick will bring it out to center. Puck poked off his stick right at the NBA blue line, and that'll be it for the second. Duke Dalba and Trace Graham with the goals for NBA, who now lead Franklin 4-0 after two periods in the Predators Cup losers bracket final. I'll be back in a few seconds with the start of the third, but if you're listening on the YouTube podcast, we're going to go ahead and take you to the start of the third period. Ready to start the third period of this one. Trip Bland still in goal for NBA. Grayson Butters still in goal for Franklin. Took over from Teague Spencer early on in the second after NBA went up 3-0. For this third period, NBA will carry the puck from my left to right, Franklin from my right to left. The Big Red starting this third period with 77 seconds of power play time carrying over. If Franklin come back and tie the game, which really feels like ain't going to happen, and the third period ends tied, we'll go to a 5-minute 3-on-3 sudden death overtime. And if that doesn't resolve it, a shootout will. This will be the last game in which overtime would be the 5-minute 3-on-3 sudden death format. For the championship games, it is a full 14-minute 5-on-5 sudden death. Less than a minute left in the power play for NBA now. Here's Trace Graham bringing the puck out of his own zone. Back into the Franklin end on the left wing side. Passes out to the blue line. Abe Lasher back across to the left point. Matthew Moore couldn't give it into stick. Here's Hank Hayes. Back into the NBA zone, trying to go to the front of the net, but Abe Lasher pushes him down, causes him to lose the puck, and he crashes into the post and knocks the net off its moorings. Ryan Sherman wants a penalty for that, but Franklin aren't going to get one. 29 seconds left in the power play, 13-12 to go in regulation. 4-0 NBA. Draw is going to be to the right of Bland. It's won by Franklin. Pass in the middle of the ice, intercepted by Cortland Klett. There's Andrew Freck. Back into the Franklin zone on the right wing side. He's in the right wing corner. There's going to be another penalty against Franklin, I think. Referee's arm went up. And then an extra whistle blown. Not sure what the penalty they called was. I think it's Ryan Mannion who went in the box. Officials are discussing there may be something extra to this. Holding the face mask. Oh, wow. They haven't put the time up on the board yet. So is it not a 5-on-3? It's still a 5-on-4 for NBA. So just 8 seconds left of the penalty, the Braden Coleman penalty. Draw is going to be to the left of T. No, oh wow! 7 minutes of penalties against Ryan Mannion. Oh my God, this is going to be a long 5-on-4. So there's 8 seconds in a 5-on-3, 12:51 to go in regulation, 4-0 NBA. So Cole Wright will have to leave the ice and go back to the bench. But Will McCormick tells him to stay on and he'll go off. Wow. So what were the penalties called against Mannion? I'll have to check. It's Franklin's best player off the ice for a long time. Draw was to the left of Butters. Puck out at center. 5-on-3 is up. NBA on the power play for 6 minutes and 52 seconds on a 5-on-4. Good God. Ethan Sides, left wing side of the Franklin zone, gets taken down by Will McCormick. Cole Wright, right wing side of the NBA zone. Try to pass it back over to McCormick. Puck intercepted. It's behind the net. Passed up the right wing boards to Cortland Klett, who passes across to the near side, Lawson Brown. Brown. Back into the Franklin zone on the right wing. Gets to the front of the net, scores! Got to the left-hand side of the net, buries it in the bottom corner on the right-hand side to make it 5-0 NBA. 12:06 to go in regulation. That kills off the minor. Kills off the minor penalty against Ryan Mannion and cuts it down to 5 minutes. Cuts it down to the major. Let me look at the penalties called against Mannion. holding the face mask, so he was given 2 holdings. A 2-minute minor for holding and a 5-minute major for holding. And now Jackson Reed is walking over to the scorekeeper box and asking Danny Corns what the situation is. And Danny put the 6:15 back up on the board, reset the penalty clock to 6:15, and now the clock's running, so I guess the major supersedes the minor penalty. NBA with a puck. Here's Abe Lasher, right wing side of the Franklin zone. Puck cleared and sent the other way by Franklin. Right wing corner of the NBA zone, Matthew Moore with it. Moore. Passing up the far side, trying to get it to Graham. It misses his stick and goes for an icing. 5:35 left in the power play. 11:26 to go in regulation. 5-0 NBA. Draw to the left of Bland. Won by NBA. Here's Trace Graham behind his own net. Now he brings it out to center. Passes to his left. Lasher, left wing side of the Franklin zone. Round the back of the net. Passing it out to the right point, Matthew Moore. Here's Lasher. Trying to send it to the front of the net. Went off a stick. Came to the front of the net and shot past the net to the left of Butters. Puck out at center. 5 minutes left in the power play for NBA. Graham back into the Franklin zone, pushing to the boards. Michael Mannion clears, but onto the stick of Lasher at center. Lasher back into his own zone. Steps back into the Franklin zone on the left wing. Seconds off a shot. May have gone off of Butters on its way past the net. Hank Hayes back into the NBA zone, trying to get around. Hudson Higgins in front of backhander, stopped by Bland. Higgins getting some playing time since NBA are up by such a big margin. Graham from behind his own net. Flips it up the far side to center, intercepted by Baker McCormick. He'll bring it back into the NBA zone on the right wing side. Gets off a shot off the right leg pad of Bland. Rebound try from Garrisher, stopped by Bland. Puck brought back to center by Henry Burke. 4 minutes left in the power play for NBA. Puck back in the Franklin zone. Cole Wright at center. Into the NBA zone, all offside. Either Baker McCormick or Wyatt Garrisher went over the blue line before Wright did. 3:44 left in the power play. 9:35 to go in regulation. 5-0 NBA. Draw on the dot in front of the NBA bench, won by the Big Red. Connor Mazzoni. Dropping it around the boards to the near side. Here's Lawson Brown. Stretch pass up the far side to Cortland Klett. And then he turns it over to Chase Wagers. Wagers back in the NBA zone. Puck taken and cleared out. Here's Klett, left wing side of the Franklin zone. Ethan Sides driving it back up to the left point. Klett passes down the left wing board. Sides moving in. A shot turned away by Butters. Sides putting it out in front. Franklin get to it and they'll bring it out. Less than 3 minutes left in the power play for NBA. Here's Baker McCormick back into the NBA zone. Trying to put it in front. It went off the stick of Bland. He's got it in his glove. 2:50 left in the power play for NBA. 8:41 to go in regulation. 5-0 Big Red. Draw's going to be to the right of Bland. One by the Big Red. Here's Henry Burke passing to the far side, and Cortland Klett drops it back to Lasher. Almost gave it away to Hank Hayes. Held onto the puck. Lasher back into the Franklin zone on the right wing side. Goes to the inboards. Passes up to the right point. Henry Burke. Henry Burke a shot. Blockered away by Butters. Spencer's been out of the net for a while now. One-timer from Andrew Freck misses the net to the left of Butters. Burke trying to drop the puck off to the right point. Cleared out of the zone by Cole Wright. Franklin still playing defense somewhat. 2 minutes left in the power play. I think that's the end of the major. So this should be the minor penalty. If NBA score, though, the power play will go off the board. Puck in the in the Franklin zone, brought out to center by Quinn Spencer. Spencer back in the NBA zone on the right wing side. Goes to the front of the net, a shot, stopped by Bland. Puck behind the net. Bland tied up with Baker McCormick, who then got knocked down by Andrew Freck. And now McCormick and Freck are tangled up, and they go down to the ice. McCormick got his helmet knocked off. There's going to be a penalty against Freck. So we'll see what the penalties are. So there goes the power play for NBA. Well, so fighting majors given to both McCormick and Freck. So that means Freck will miss the final on Monday. But Freck's going to get another penalty because he knocked McCormick down in NBA net. McCormick is a senior. So if Franklin loses this game, he will be unable to serve that one-game suspension, which would turn into a fine of $100. And wow, Andrew Freck has not only been given a 5-minute major for fighting. No, wait. Okay, Will McCormick's penalty has been downgraded to a roughing minor. Andrew Freck has been given a 5-minute major for high sticking. He got a 2-minute minor for tripping and then a 5-minute major for high sticking. So we'll have 85 seconds of a 4-on-4, 7:16 to go in regulation, 5-0 NBA. So Will McCormick avoids, for the moment, a fighting major. That would have cost him some money if Franklin had lost this game, and then he'd be been given a suspension. But it's been downgraded to a roughing minor. after all this time, we're and Andrew Freck heads back to the locker room. Draw to the right of Bland as we're finally ready to resume. One by NBA. Trace Graham. Right wing corner of his own zone. Behind his own net. Carried out to center. Passes up the far side back into the Franklin zone. It's cleared out. One minute left in the 4-on-4. Here's Abe Lasher back into the Franklin zone. Passes down the left wing. And it's sent back up top to him, but off his stick out of the zone. Here's David Unger. Back in the NBA zone on the left wing side, trying to backhand it out in front over the net. It was knocked down. Puck cleared out on the near side. 30 seconds left in the 4-on-4. Puck at center, dumped back into the Franklin zone by Matthew Moore. Trace Graham getting knocked down in front of the NBA net, and that's going to be a tripping call. And there went any power play Franklin we're going to get. It's going to be against Aiden Murphy. So NBA will have a 4-on-3 for 13 seconds. Then Ryan Manion's penalty will expire. Who's ever serving it for him will come out of the box. And it'll be a 4-on-4. Draw to the right of Butters. One by NBA. Here's Mazzoni at the left point. Passing across to the right wing side. 4-on-3 is up. It's now a 4-on-4 for 1:47. Lawson Brown with a shot from the right circle. Stopped and held on to by Butters. Draw is going to be to Butters' left. NBA's penalty will expire Franklin's penalty will expire before Andrew Frex does. So Franklin will get on the power play again unless they commit another penalty between now and then. Puck in the NBA zone on the end boards. Comes up to Quinn Spencer at the right point. Backhands it down the wall, intercepted by Connor Mazzoni, who clears it out. Puck at center still. And Cortland Klett dives out and pokes it back to the inboards of his own zone just to give his team some space. Less than a minute left in the power play for Franklin. Less than a minute left in the 4-on-4. I'm sorry. Here's Klett. Clearing attempt. Whiffing on it was Baker McCormick at the left point. Here's Abe Lasher, right wing side of the Franklin zone. Fires it past the net to the left of Butters. Cole Wright. Back into the NBA zone on the left wing side. Falls backwards. Trying to back up to the near side boards. Wagers with the puck. Gets knocked down by Klett. Here's Wright. Had the puck poked away. Wagers wants a call, and he's going to get it. As McCormick pushes Klett into the boards after the whistle. So Franklin will get a 4-on-3. And then it'll turn into a 5-on-3, I think. They'll have a 4-on-3 for 20 seconds. 4:24 left in regulation, 5-0 NBA. Cortland Klett called for roughing. Locke Ross is serving Andrew Freck's high sticking penalty. His high sticking major. Draw to the right of Bland. Won by Franklin. David Unger passing to the right point. Quinn Spencer taking a shot, turned away by Bland. Puck on the far side, cleared out. Here's Quinn Spencer back into the NBA zone. Penalty time against Franklin is up. They're now on a 5-on-3 as NBA clear it down ice. Cortland Klett's penalty is 8 seconds ahead of the Andrew Freck major. Here's Wyatt Garisher. And then Michael Mannion with a backhanded, soft backhander that's turned away by Bland. Puck cleared down ice by NBA. Quinn Spencer behind his own net. Bringing it up the far side to center. Back into the NBA zone to the slot. A shot turned away by Bland. Minute left in the 5-on-3. Hard bank off the near boards and out by Abe Lasher. Minute left in the Andrew Freck major. Hank Hayes to center. Back into the NBA zone on the left wing side. Getting off a shot. Oh, it hit the post to the right of Bland. And then a backhander from Garisher turned away by Bland, who backed into the net and dislodged it. 38 seconds left in the 5-on-3. 3:02 to go in regulation. 5-0 NBA. Draw is going to be to the left of Bland. Won by NBA and cleared out. Just went out of the zone. Graham Fleming couldn't keep it alive at the right point. 30 seconds left in the 5-on-3. Aiden Murphy brings the puck back into the NBA zone on the left wing side. His shot off a stick into the netting above the glass. Well defended by Connor Mazzoni. Draws to the right of Bland. Won by NBA and cleared. Franklin with it at center. Oh, and Houston Vale tried to dump it into the NBA zone down the right wing side, but Braden Coleman slightly crossed the blue line. And Vale's dump hit Coleman, triggering the offside whistle. Draw one by NBA, turned over to Franklin. 5-on-3 is done, 5-on-4 for 8 more seconds. NBA clear it. And that'll kill off the rest of that Andrew Freck major. Time on the penalty is up. NBA back at even strength. And now we got Goonery going on in the right wing corner. Braden Coleman's going to go to the box for roughing and cross-checking. So 4 minutes worth of penalties called against Braden Coleman. NBA back to the power play, up 5-0 with 2:08 to go. Franklin about to say a goodbye to a lot of seniors. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Geez. Draw's going to be to Butters' left. Won by NBA. Louis Jalovic shot. Missed the net to the left of Butters. Puck cleared out on the far side, sent right back in. Archer Reynolds out on the ice. A lot of young guys out there for NBA. Got Archer Reynolds, Locke Ross. Here's Quinn Spencer, right wing side of the NBA zone. Around the back of the net. Taking a shot from the left point, misses the net to the left of Bland, and then Michael Mannion fires it through the crease. His GNASH career is about to end. Here's Archer Reynolds, right wing side of the Franklin zone, gets off a soft backhander, turned away by Butters. Stretch pass to Michael Mannion at the NBA blue line. Passes to the left circle. Wyatt Gersher couldn't keep it on his stick. And they tried to pass it to Mannion in the slot. It went off the stick of Hudson Higgins and out. 3 minutes left in the power play for NBA. Quinn Spencer brings the puck back into the NBA zone in the right wing corner. Last minute of the game. Puck out on the far side. Locke Ross clears it out. And then Ross takes a hit from Wyatt Gersher. They call him for charging. And then he gets an unsportsmanlike. Wow, and Jackson Reed, that was Franklin's, Braden Coleman been called for 4 penalties in the game, so he's out. 12 penalties called against Franklin, so Jackson Reed. Wyatt Gersher got an unsportsmanlike conduct, a 2 and a 10 for charging. So it's a 5-on-3 for NBA. And we're going to have another penalty against Franklin. Less than 30 seconds left, and I just run out the clock at this point. I'd say game over. Aiden Murphy going to go to the box for roughing. I'd call the game at this point. Draw to the left of Butters. One by Franklin, trying to clear it out of the zone, held in by Henry Burke. Burke trying to put it in front, whiffed on from in front. I think by Hunter Musser. Shot from the left point, blocked. Puck carried to center, Hank Hayes. Into the NBA zone, lost it. Henry Burke will clear. And NBA will face Nolensville in the Predators Cup final on Monday night as they dominate the losers bracket final and beat Franklin 5-0. And good sportsmanship between Hunter Musser and Grayson Butters and Hank Hayes. Fist bumps and hugs. Now let's hope nobody does anything stupid in the handshake line. Well, most of the NBA players have gotten off the ice. We got some players huddled up in a prayer circle at center ice, which is nice. Well, chances for any more goonery are gone, so wow. NBA win 5-0 in a game they controlled all the way. Pretty much the beginning on. Franklin were really never in it. And the Preds Cup is down to its final 2. So the goal scorers in this one for NBA. Let's see, first goal, the game-winning goal was scored by Cortland Klett. He scored just a minute 56 in. They gave that second goal to Lasher. It was Connor. I'm pretty sure it was Connor Mazzoni who scored that second goal. Then Duke Dalba, Trace Graham, and then the last goal was scored by Lawson Brown. I'm going to give player of the game to Cortland Klett for having the game-winning goal because he doesn't score a lot. So Cortland Klett gets the game-winning goal. As NBA win this one 5-0, and they will get their rematch with Nolensville. And I tell you what, if I were NBA, if I were Nolensville, I'd be afraid of this NBA team. Because do we have more penalties at the end? Very end there. Graham Fleming got an unsportsmanlike conduct right at the end of the game. And Wyatt Garisher got an unsportsmanlike match penalty. What a way to end your career. So dumb, man. Just so dumb. Just get off the ice. So here's who Franklin are saying goodbye to. Wyatt Garisher in terms of departing seniors. Wyatt Garisher, Quinn Spencer, Will McCormick, Aiden Murphy, Josh Yurievich, Graham Fleming, Braden Coleman, Houston Vale, and Michael Mannion. Spencer's a big loss. So's Michael Mannion. They're bringing back some pretty good players next year. Cole Wright, Makita Popov. They get both their goalies back. Ryan Mannion, Hank Hayes will be back for another year. Chase Wagers, but with Todd Gross gone, what happens next? Because Todd, the reason that they expanded so much and got so good was Todd started having a summer league to recruit. Now that he's gone, what happens next? Is Jackson Reed going to keep that going, or whoever his replacement is? Because Franklin have never played this well in GNASH. They've never played this well. They've never played this well in GNASH. And now, future's in a bit of question, I'd say. But I guess we'll see. So Wyatt Garisher, he's going to get suspended for whatever he said, because he peered through that that back door on the bench, at the back of the bench, and yelled whatever he yelled. And so that'll turn into a fine, whatever he got in trouble for. And Jackson Reed, well, actually, Braden Coleman, 4 penalties in a game. So he'll get a 1-game suspension for that, but he's a senior and won't be able to serve it. So that'll turn into a fine. So, yeah. But unfortunately for NBA, Andrew Freck's going to be suspended for Monday because he got that high sticking major. It may get downgraded, it may not. They usually never downgrade. Okay, so our final scores tonight in the Henry Hine Cup Losers Bracket semifinal, it was Mount Juliet Wilson Central Lebanon beating JP2 McKay GCS 4-1. And just now in the Predators Cup Losers Bracket final, it was Montgomery Bell defeating Franklin 5-0. Tomorrow night on the North Rig in Antioch at 7:30, the Hine Cup Losers Bracket final, Mount Juliet taking on the 1-seed Father Ryan. The winner will play Independent Centennial in the final on Monday out in Bellevue. Before we go, I want to give some on-air shout-outs first to Mark Hayes, the father of Hank Hayes, then to Bree and Hayden Bland, the parents of Trip Bland, Glenn Bland, the grandfather of Trip Bland, Jenny and Greg Dalba, the parents of Duke Dalba, and Don and Stacy Graham, the parents of Trace Graham. They purchased our full-season package of perks Buy Me a Coffee membership. They get their name published in the GNASH newsletter, which is published almost every day. Or they get their name in the GNASH newsletter, which is published almost every day. They are getting this and any and all. They're getting this on their shout-out for any and all Franklin or Montgomery Bell games I cover. And they're getting this and any and all Franklin or Montgomery Bell games I cover as a downloadable MP3. We have got just under 24 hours left of our playoff memberships, our playoff-only memberships for those who didn't buy a full season membership. For $3.75, you can just have your name listed in the newsletter, but for $7.50, you can get package of perks. Again, your name listed in the newsletter, on-air shout-outs for any and all games I cover of the team that you support, and downloadable MP3s of all games I cover for the team that you support. Just go to buymeacoffee.com, BUYMEACOFFEE.com /Mid10Sportsnet, MIDTNSPORTSNET. And in the top right-hand corner where it says Support Middle Tennessee Sports Network, type in either $3.75 or $7.50. Again, that's buymeacoffee.com, BUYMEACOFFEE.com /Mid10Sportsnet, MIDTNSPORTSNET. And type in either $3.75 or $7.50 in that little box where it says Support Middle Tennessee Sports Network on the top right of the page. After tomorrow night's Hine Cup Losers Bracket Final, the package of perks in the newsletter listing are no more. We're gonna be selling something else, especially for the championship games. So those packages expire in just about 22 and a half hours once the final buzzer sounds in tomorrow night's game. Okay, so we've still got 5 teams playing GNASH hockey in the 2025-2026 season. Our on-air finals tonight, Mount Juliet Wilson Central Lebanon 4, JP2 McKay GCS 1. Mount Juliet will play Father Ryan tomorrow night at 7:30 on the North Ring in Antioch in the Hine Cup Losers Bracket Final. Again, pregame at 7:25. And in the Preds Cup Losers Bracket Final, Montgomery Bell defeat Franklin 5-0. And they will play Nolensville in the final on Monday. They got to beat Nolensville on Monday to force the if next Wednesday. And can they beat Bingston Soundara? That's the big question. Can they beat the Binger just once to get another shot at him? We'll see. We'll see. All right. That's it from Centennial. I'm Michael Hackney. Thank you all so much for listening. Good night, everybody, and we'll talk to you tomorrow night at 7:25 from Antioch for the Henry Hine Cup Losers Bracket Final between Mount Juliet and Father Ryan. Good night from Centennial, everybody.